Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. Today I'm excited to introduce you guys to the MeetEdgar tool. So if you've been following along on our social media pages and you've been wondering what the heck automation is all about, we're going to take a demo all around MeetEdgar. If you're someone who's been kind of on the fence about trying a social media automation tool, I'm going to show you how easy it is to get this set up in less than 30 minutes, and it's going to save you approximately 8 hours a week in your marketing and social media strategy, which is pretty exciting because we are all about saving time and creating efficiency here at MeetEdgar. So if you've never seen the inside of our tool today, we're going to go ahead and dig in and do a full demo of all the bells and whistles and all of the features, which I'm super excited about. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and we'll dive right on in. So when you come into your MeetEdgar account, we have two plans. One is for our full Edgar plan and one is for Edgar Lite. The difference here is on our full plan, you get 25 social media accounts that you can use with our tool. On Edgar Lite, you get 3. So really great for like a personal brand that you want to use. Super simple to hook up your social media accounts. You just click on the rectangles over here on the left. Edgar will go ahead and grab the username and password for your accounts. You'll know they're hooked up properly because they appear as little rectangles right here for you. I'll make that a little bigger as we go through. So next is going to be the categories tab. So this is really the backbone of what Edgar is built upon, is categorizing your social media status updates. Now this is super important to do so that you get a variety of different status updates going out to your followers throughout the day and the week. So you're not boring them, becoming a salesman, just shouting discounts and shouting to buy, but you're cultivating a really engaged community by asking them questions, sending them your thought leadership to get them thinking, getting them inspired with some great quotes, sharing your how-to blog posts to inform them on what's going on in your industry, curating different articles from others around the web so that you can actually start to create partnerships with others in your industry, as well as offer your followers value no matter where it's coming from. These all are different things that can make up categories within MeetEdgar. Now, these will make a little bit more sense when we actually look at how we schedule these categories to go out to your social media. But just know that the core essence of why Edgar works so well to get an engaged community is because you're creating these different categories in order to get different posts that are exciting and full of variety out to your followers. As we're going through this, you can also see 3 separate ways of adding content into MeetEdgar based on these categories. So the first way of adding content into MeetEdgar is with this Add New Content button. So this is the availability to add content manually. So it's like you're writing a status update. You open up Facebook and you write your status update here. Super simple process. Over here on the left, you're always checking off the accounts that you'd like this content to go out to. So if something over here is not checked off, Edgar's actually never going to send it there. So this is the way you're able to split up different network messages. If you're using this for like a personal brand versus a brand that's for your company, if you want to send different messages for like your personal LinkedIn versus your company page, totally customizable by checking off these permissions. The categories then come into play with this drop-down menu. So you're telling Edgar what type of post this is. You're then going to write your post right here. So again, like writing a status update. Now, if you put a URL in here, so say I wanted to go ahead and send people to the MeetEdgar website. If I have a URL in here, this gray box is letting me know that a Facebook preview has been established. And if I wanted to know what that was going to look like, I can always pop on over to this preview tab and see what the post will look like once it sends to the network. Super nice, lovely way to be able to know what your followers are going to see. Of course, if you prefer to attach a photo or a video from your computer instead, you can always remove this Facebook preview. We actually scrape your website to find you static photos that are on your website. If you'd like to add those, you can go ahead and click Add there, and you'll notice it adds a static photo, or as I mentioned, your computer can attach photos and videos on there by clicking these icons. Once you are happy with how the post looks, you're actually going to then click Save to your library. Now, the library is where your posts are stored. So everything that you add to Edgar will always remain in the library. Super simple search process if you ever want to find a post in order to edit it or remove it. This search bar will always let you search for a post and filter your library that way. You can always sort through your posts by these filters on the left to see which category they're in or what account they're attached to over here. A couple of other ways of actually adding content into Edgar is going to be found in this import tab. So the import tab in Edgar will allow you to upload a spreadsheet of content. Now, this is super nice if you go out and Google things like icebreaker questions for your community or different really inspirational quotes for your community. If I click on this hyperlink here, this is our help center, and you can actually see a full list right here, or a full view right here of how the spreadsheet should be formatted. Simple setup, the category name in column B, the text in column A. Upon uploading that to MeetEdgar, those will go right into your library, a great way to bulk import those posts. The second way of getting automated posts into your library is with our RSS feed reader here. So this is awesome if you have a blog or if you like to curate content from other people's blogs. Remember, we love to make sure we're giving our followers value and keeping them up to date on what's going on in our industry, no matter where that content is coming from. So a great way to do this is you just go ahead and type in your URL here. So if I wanted to get all of the MeetEdgar blog posts into MeetEdgar, I'm going to just put our URL. Edgar does all the work to find the feed. You'll go ahead and put it into your category. So for me, this would go into my blog post category. I'm going to give permission to say what accounts these posts have permission to go out to. And then you have two options right here. You can either send these directly to your library, or you can send them to a pending content queue. So the difference here is whatever RSS feeds you add to Edgar, he checks them every 24 hours. If a new post has been released within that time frame, Edgar will automatically pull it over into your library. Super great time saver, right? So if you're doing this for curated content and you want the ability to go ahead and approve or reject the post first, I always recommend sending it to your pending content queue. This will, of course, go ahead and allow you to approve, reject, or edit the post before it goes into your library. So we've talked about 3 different ways of actually getting social media content into the library, but what about scheduling it? There's 2 main ways of scheduling in Edgar. Your first is going to be this weekly repeating schedule. So you'll notice when you hit the schedule tab on your MeetEdgar account, it's a 1-week view here. However, this week repeats over and over again. So you only have to set it up once. It's all based upon those categories that we set up. This allows you to get a great mixture of content and what we like to refer to as the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the posts you're sending out to social media should be valuable posts, whether they're educational, entertaining, some sort of engagement-oriented post. That should make up of 80% of your content. 20% then can be a little bit more promotional, leading people to buy your product or service. The categories make this seamless to accomplish. Super simple. You're just going to click into the area you'd like to send out a time slot, or you'd like to send out a post to create a time slot. You're going to check off the accounts you'd like this to go out to over here on the left. Again, setting these permissions. So if you want these to only send out to a certain brand or only to a certain network, completely customizable to what you want. Then we're selecting the type of post we want to go out. You can always customize this to create consistency for your followers by duplicating this time slot across the whole week if you wanted to. Once you're happy with how it looks, you go ahead and click on Save. How these time slots are working with your library is what we refer to as a last in, first out evergreen rotation. So as Edgar is going along here and hitting this time slot, the most recent status update you added to that category will be the first post Edgar sends out when he reaches that category on your schedule. He'll then take that post and put it to the end of the line in that category. Next time he hits that category on your schedule, he'll send the next update out, put it to the end of the line in the category, and move along. So as you can see, he's just going to work his way through all of the posts you've added to that category in your library. Once he reaches the bottom and there are no new posts in that category, that's when he starts from the top again, resurfacing older posts for new followers to see, as well as perhaps someone didn't see it the first time it was posted. So this is a great opportunity for you to get that value out to them. This is an evergreen content strategy. And we always like to say, You see everything you're posting, but your followers do not. So you want to write quality status updates that are speaking into your audience persona's lives, resonating with what's going on in their day, that they'll be excited to see these status updates and they'll be excited to hear from you. So a last in, first out rotation to know how often things are going to repeat is all based on the ratio of how many posts you have in a category in the library versus how many times that category is on your schedule. So some easy math here is if you add 10 questions, let's say, to your questions category, Edgar will start to repeat that content approximately every 10 weeks. If you put that question category on your schedule twice, Edgar will repeat that content approximately every 5 weeks. If you're continuously adding new content to that category in the library, Edgar will always favor posting that new content before he repeats any of the content. So a super great way to be able to get a variety of content out there is to make sure you are making these status updates go out at different times of day to catch people who consume social media differently as well. So remember, if someone gets up in the morning and checks right away, perhaps they're not checking in the afternoon on a different day. So if this questions category is in the morning on Mondays, we could consider putting that in the afternoon on Wednesdays, so different segments of your community get that content from you. Now you might be wondering, how the heck do I know what's going out? Well, that's going to be in your Q tab in Edgar. So the Q tab in Edgar is actually going to give you the date, and it's going to show you the exact posts that are going out. This is essentially the evergreen content just being cycled through, making sure your followers see consistency from your brand. You can always stop automation by pausing your queue. You can skip posts in your queue with this little fast forward button, which will send the post to the end of the line in the category and pull in the next one. You can always sort the queue to see what you have going out to a certain account or from a certain category with these filters on the left. So that's how you schedule your evergreen content within MeetEdgar. There's another way of scheduling in Edgar, and this is great for your holiday posts or your day-specific posts, and those you schedule on the content level themselves. So how you do that is you click to add new content, same deal as we were looking at before. You're checking off the account permissions of where this post can go. You're writing your status update here. Then let's say this is like a Happy New Year's Day post that I only want to send out one time and it's not appropriate to be on that evergreen schedule. I'm going to use this advanced settings drop-down menu to mark it as a use once post. That means when Edgar sends it out one time, he'll automatically expire it. Then I'm going to go next to this Save to Library button. I'm going to go to this drop-down arrow here. When I go to this drop-down arrow, you'll notice you have two other options. The first one says send now and save. So if you do something as a send now and save post, Edgar will actually send it 1 minute after you click this. And then if use once is checked off, he'll automatically expire it. If use once is not checked off, he'll put it to the end of the line in whatever category you've assigned it to, and it'll go back into your rotation if that category is on your schedule. So that's great, you know, if you find like a trending news article that you want to send out to all of your accounts, but you don't want to spend the time logging into each of them, go ahead and use that send now and save feature. And it's a great way, as I mentioned, to go ahead and get that content out there quickly. The second option is to schedule send and save posts. So this is fantastic because it allows you to put in a specific date and time. So let's go back to the example of a New Year's post. If I wanted to schedule all of my holiday posts now so that when that holiday is upon us, I can relax with my friends and family, but still support my followers and still show up for them, I can schedule this for New Year's Day, send that post out, mark it as a use once post, and rest assured that my feeds will be fed. So those are your two ways of scheduling, whether it's your evergreen content on the weekly repeating schedule. So this is best for your set it and forget it content, or the day specific content there. Now, I always like to say, if you're first beginning with MeetEdgar, one of the strongest things you can do is get into a system of batching your status updates. So hop into MeetEdgar and make your categories, then make a goal for yourself to add 10 status updates to each category. If you put that category on your schedule twice, you have a fresh month's worth of content going out. What a relief. Then you can actually decide on the days and times that you're going to start filling more content into your library, and you can start increasing or decreasing the time slots on your schedule based on the feedback from your followers about what types of posts are really resonating with them. All right, so we also have a really cool feature to allow you to reshare things on Twitter. Now, I don't know if you know, but Twitter actually does have a term of service that says you cannot send the same tweet to the same Twitter account more than once anymore. So as you know, with our evergreen schedule, that means we do have to expire your tweets once they send out, so we don't get you guys in trouble with Twitter. But we still want you to be able to take this evergreen action. So that's what our variations feature here is for. There's two ways you can use this, and our variations feature will work for any network. So if you'd like to A/B test messaging on your Facebook posts, or if you just like to add a little variety into how you're introducing a blog post, you can use these for Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. It was specifically built to help reshare things on Twitter, though. So if you're doing manual variations, when you click to add a variation, you'll notice a second text box pops up. This allows you to alter the language in some way. So if it's a blog post, could you ask a question? Could you use a different headline that you might have named the article? Could you tell a different story? Could you get a pull quote from it? Whatever it is, just alter the language. That way, when this whole post is up in your rotation again, Edgar will have a different variation to choose from, allowing you to reshare that evergreen content on Twitter while staying in compliance with their terms of service. The cool thing about variations is if you are using this for a blog post, if you have a URL in here, I'm just grabbing a URL, you'll notice the minute I put a URL in here, I get the second option that says auto-generate variations. This is where Edgar actually writes your status updates for you. So if I click to auto-generate variations, you'll notice Edgar gets 5 different pull quotes from within that article to actually write them here. So it teases a little bit of the information, and it sets the expectation of what people will actually be able to read if they decide to click over from social media and drive that traffic to your site. So it's a great way, again, to pique curiosity and stay in compliance with resharing evergreen content. Huge time saver there. All right, so our last tab up here is your history tab. So the history tab is always going to show you everything that Edgar has sent out. I always recommend at the end of your day, leaving 5 to 10 minutes to batch out your engagement on social media. And Edgar makes that super simple for you with this arrow right underneath the timestamp. If I click on this arrow right underneath the timestamp, it's going to take me to that social media status update where I can see if I have any comments I need to respond to there. Remember, engagement is everything on social media. Getting that meaningful social interaction is one of the best ways to get more reach for your followers. The next thing that's great about the history tab is you can click on this all-time clicks header, and it'll actually sort your posts to show you the ones that have received the most clicks down to the ones that have received the least clicks. And this just allows you to get a better idea on the times of day people are clicking the most, or what language you're using in your post that's compelling people to click off of the social media network onto your blog post and consume your content there. Because that's one of our main goals for you here at MeetEdgar, is to make sure the content that you're putting out on social media is driving people to find you off of these spaces. Because remember, we don't own our social media followers, and we want them to be able to find us in other places. All right, so that's a quick run through of MeetEdgar. It's quite a flexible platform. So if you guys have any sort of questions regarding your, regarding like a workflow, if you wanted to send out like a motivational Monday post or see how to use seasonal categories as you're getting your seasonal content ready, we are more than happy to answer those questions. Go ahead and email support@meetedgar.com. I will be in the inbox the rest of the day, and I'd love to make sure that your Edgar account is set up to serve you saving time. Awesome hanging out with you guys today. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd like to learn in the comments below. We go live every day. And like I said, I cannot imagine spending my day anywhere else except for here with you guys. So have a really fantastic rest of your Thursday. Bye, guys.